Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the post fight for UFC 267. What an incredible card. The entire main card just delivered. Every fight was pretty exciting. We're going to go through the entire card from top to bottom, talk about all the fights. There were some amazing performances tonight. You had the return of Khamzat Chimaev. You had Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. You guys know the fights. The Cory Sandhagen Petr Yan fight for the interim bantamweight title was absolutely insane. When I do these live post fights for bigger events, I'm just going to go through the card as if I was recording a video, and then I'm going to get to the chat later in the post fight reaction. So any questions, comments you guys have while I'm going over the card for a little bit, just leave them in the chat, and we'll get to them at the end of the stream. I always leave these streams up, so if you missed the live stream, comment down below whatever question you may have, and we'll talk about it in a future live stream or future video. As always, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Okay, now let's start talking about the main event, because boy, was I wrong about the main event. Glover Teixeira is the new light heavyweight champion. That is unbelievable. 42 years old, and Glover Teixeira is now the champion of the light heavyweight division, the undisputed champ. He fought for the belt 7 years ago against Jon Jones. Did not, came up short, lost every single round. He's been fighting for 20 years. He beats Jan Blachowicz by rear naked choke in the second round. And it's a common theme with fights on this card. We have a lot of, relatively short fights and quick finishes. And this fight, and also submissions, honestly. There's a lot of submissions on this card. And this fight was dominated by Glover Teixeira. And Jan Blachowicz, I'm not trying to downplay Glover Teixeira's performance, because it was an incredible performance. So I don't want it to come off like that. But Jan Blachowicz looked old tonight. He looked slow. Takedown defense looked terrible. This did not look like the same Jan Blachowicz that beat Israel Adesanya. But that being said, who knows? Glover Teixeira could have just made him look bad. And this performance by Glover was pretty much flawless. He came out in the first round and just snatched up Jan Blachowicz's leg, took him right to the ground, and dominated him there. Jan Blachowicz played it smart. They were dead center of the cage. Jan Blachowicz played with a closed guard, held him there in position. Because once Glover starts to pass to that half guard, that side control, his top game is unbelievable. His chest pressure, he's always looking for the full mount. He's always looking for submissions. So Jan Blachowicz was trying to be safe. He was keeping that guard closed and just trying to ride out the round. But he got taken down in the first 30 seconds. So he was on his back for about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Glover was landing, nothing crazy, no big shots. He was just beating up the body with little shots, then going to the head. He landed a couple elbows, but nothing too significant. Now, the second round started. It looked a little bit better for Jan Blachowicz. Glover was kind of rushing forward, throwing big combinations, heavy hooks. And I was thinking, if Glover leaves that chin out there and that legendary Polish power touches it, Glover could be going to sleep. Well, it was the other way around. Jan landed a couple shots in the second round, but Glover touched the chin of Jan Blachowicz, hurt him. Eventually took him down. It was a weird position how they ended up on the ground. It almost looked like Jan was looking, for some. I don't know what was going on there, but Jan ended up getting taken down against the fence. Glover was already in half guard in that position. Started throwing some ground and pound. Moves to mount almost immediately. Jan gives up his back. Glover Teixeira flattens him out. And he barely threw any punches and just cinched in the rear naked choke. And Jan Blachowicz tapped so fast. And Glover Teixeira is now your new light heavyweight champion. I cannot believe it. And I thought Glover had a chance. And people asked what I think was the biggest chance of an upset on the card. And I said that I thought that Glover Teixeira, of all the underdogs, Glover Teixeira had the best chance to win. I said it in my pre-fight video. I thought that Glover had a solid chance, even though I was picking Jan. I just thought Jan had good enough takedown defense. He'd be able to shrug off the takedowns. And in the second round, he shrugged off 2 or 3 takedowns from Glover Teixeira. But Glover Teixeira is so relentless with his takedowns. He knows what he has to do to win. And he doesn't care if he gets clipped up looking for those. I mean, we've seen it in past fights. And Jan Blachowicz stuffed a couple of them. But then eventually, you start getting too worried about the takedowns. and you're going to get clipped up yourself. And that's exactly what happened. He got rocked. Then it ended up him getting taken down and submitted. And, Glover Teixeira's career longevity, it's just something to behold. To be 42 years old, to be fighting for 20 years, and not only to come out and win a title, an undisputed UFC title, to win against a guy who's looked relatively good. I mean, Jan Blachowicz is coming off a win against Israel Adesanya. Before that, he beat the brakes off of Dominic Reyes. And, I don't know if Jan Blachowicz, just for whatever reason, didn't show up tonight. He said he left his legendary Polish power in his hotel room. But that did not look like the same Jan Blachowicz. But it could just be Glover Teixeira is that good with his skill set. I mean, he has great takedowns. He has great jiu-jitsu. I knew that Glover Teixeira had the jiu-jitsu advantage. I just didn't think he'd be able to get him there, without really putting himself in enough danger where Jan Blachowicz was going to be able to capitalize and rock Glover. So, you got to give it up to Glover. And up next for Glover Teixeira, Jiri Prochazka. What an incredible fight that is going to be. I cannot wait for Glover Teixeira versus Jiri Prochazka. And I damn sure ain't counting Glover Teixeira out in that fight. He came in this fight with a perfect game plan. He went out there, executed the game plan, and he won pretty much every second of this fight against Jan Blachowicz, who's younger than him. I know Jan Blachowicz is up there in age too, but he's 38. Glover Teixeira is 4 years older than him. And for Glover just to make it look that easy, he came out there and made it look so easy against Jan Blachowicz, who again, Jan Blachowicz's last couple performances have been very impressive. And Glover went out there, took him down with ease. And maybe we got a false sense of security on Jan Blachowicz's takedown defense because he hasn't fought a lot of grapplers recently. I know he fought Corey Anderson a while ago. There was some back and forth recently. Anderson was able to take him down in the first fight. They fought again, and Jan obviously knocked him out. I don't know if it's time catching up with Jan Blachowicz. He just looked very slow in there tonight. The movement looked terrible. He had a couple decent low kicks in the first round and maybe even the second. I can't remember exactly. But just the overall footwork looked off. He looked very tentative in there. He looks just very worried about the takedown. And even if you're the better striker, when you're worried about the takedown, it's a problem. And Glover Teixeira did a great job of closing the distance. He wasn't throwing those, people like to call them naked takedowns where you just shoot across the octagon and look for a takedown and spam it. Glover Teixeira was throwing combinations, getting Jan Blachowicz to think about those combinations, and then was just shooting right underneath Jan Blachowicz's hands, took him right to the ground with ease, with absolute ease. And, it almost in a way, there's a comparison to be drawn. John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson too. And the reason I talk about that, and not the fight in its entirety, but once John Jones got Gustafsson down, he treated him like a baby and dominated him. And Glover Teixeira, once he got Jan Blachowicz down, it was all Glover Teixeira. It was insanity. Dominant performance. In the first round when Glover got Jan down, Jan had no defense. Nope. All he did was hold on for dear life and pray the round ended. That's it. He didn't get the feet on the hips. He wasn't looking for sweeps. He wasn't looking for his knee on the... Because he knew, Jan Blachowicz knew, if Glover Teixeira passes my guard, I am screwed. He knew that in the back of his mind. So he just closed up that guard. Glover Teixeira was even using the can opener a little bit. He was grabbing, he was palming the back of, interlocking the hands, almost like a Muay Thai clinch on the ground, and just wrenching Jan Blachowicz's head up to get him to open the guard. Unfortunately, Glover never really got to make any momentum in that first round as far as advancing position. But in that second round, Glover Teixeira came out to finish. And, when he got him down, he treated him like a baby, flattened him out, and submitted him. And, Glover Teixeira must have an incredible grip because Jan Blachowicz tapped so fast. And there's nothing wrong with that. The fight was over. He was getting submitted. And, so whatever. It is what it is. But it's just crazy to see. Like, he didn't even have it all the way wrenched. And Jan Blachowicz was tapping that mat as fast as he could. It was an incredible main event. It was incredible to see Glover Teixeira win a belt at 42 years old. I can't wait to see what's next for him. Jan Blachowicz did not retire in the cage. Neither did Glover Teixeira. I knew if Glover Teixeira won, he was not retiring. I thought maybe if he lost, he would retire. But I knew if he won, he wouldn't. He's looking at those bigger paydays against Yuri Prochazka and Alexander Rakic. And let me just say this. I know a lot of people are going to be picking Yuri Prochazka against Glover Teixeira, and I very may well do the same. But if anyone thinks that Glover Teixeira does not have a shot against Yuri Prochazka, I don't know what they're smoking. He's dominant on the ground. He has heavy top game, the chest pressure, the head position. He was just driving his head into Jan Blachowicz's chin and neck when he was on top of him. And he really tries to tire the guys out when they're on the bottom. And he has a legitimate chance, to do the same to Yuri Prochazka. And even on the feet, I think Yuri Prochazka is the better striker, but Glover has power in his hands. And Glover could easily catch Yuri on the chin. He has his hands down at his knees. He's rushing forward. Glover could put Yuri Prochazka to sleep on the feet. So I think that pretty much does it for the recap of the main event. Let's move on to the co-main event, because the co-main event coming into this fight card was my favorite fight on the card. And by the way, guys, if you weren't here when I started the stream, I'm going to go over the entire event. Put your questions in the chat. I'm going to read through them at the end after I'm done recapping the event. So if you have any questions or comments, just put them in the chat. Don't forget to like the stream as well, and we'll talk about it in a minute. So coming into this fight, Petr Yan, Cory Sandhagen was my favorite fight on this card for the interim bantamweight title. But I truly believe, I don't care about the belts, what this or that. These are the two best 135ers in the world. And this fight proved it to me. This was an amazing fight. This was a competitive fight. This was a high-level fight. The level of striking that was displayed in this fight was amazing. I could watch these guys fight every Saturday, and I would love it. And for Sanhagen to come in, and by the way, I forgot to say the result in case you're watching this and you didn't see the card. Petr Yan wins 49-46 on the judges' scorecards, 4 rounds to 1, and that's how I had it scored as well. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Cory Sandhagen came into this fight on a month's notice. Aljamain Sterling was originally in there. He pulled out. Sandhagen said, you know what, I'll take that fight. There's not many people willing to step in on short notice to fight Petr Yan. And I think that Yan is slowly cementing his legacy as the best 135er of all time. Right now, it's probably Dominic Cruz, just for body of work. But if Yan can continue to do what he's doing, and let's say he goes out there and he beats up Aljamain Sterling again, which I suspect he will, then he goes out there and beats TJ Dillashaw, which I suspect he will, the legacy is there. And this fight surprised me in many ways, but at the same time, it didn't. I thought this would be the best fight on the card, and that's why it was my most anticipated fight. And when you put two of the best 135ers in the cage together, I think bantamweight is the best division in the UFC. You're going to get an amazing fight. Now, this fight, it was so great because of the momentum swing, and it's a very similar thing that happens in a lot of Petr Yan fights. And I think Daniel Cormier pointed it out early in the fight. But Yan seems to almost, I don't want to say he's a slow starter because he's not a slow starter. But it almost seems like his opponent does very well against him in the first round. Then he starts to get his reads. The damage starts to take its toll. And then he just starts to take over. And I gave Cory Sandhagen the first round. And I have some notes here. Sanhagen was the one shooting on takedowns. I thought Yan would have a significant grappling advantage after seeing Sanhagen be controlled in the clinch by TJ Dillashaw, seeing Yan's past of clinch work, especially against Aljamain Sterling. But that height and length advantage, I think it really did him well. He shot in a couple takedowns, didn't get them. Both guys were just throwing heavy leg kicks, heavy body kicks. And Sanhagen was throwing very nice combinations in this first round, and he outstruck Yan. And it wasn't like crazy significant. It wasn't like, an unbelievable total differential of strikes. But Cory was just throwing combinations, and he was pressuring Yan in that first round. It was an incredible first round. It was very competitive. I thought Sanhagen clearly won the first round. So you go to the second round, and Yan really started to turn up the pressure, and Yan was just ripping kicks to the body. His left hand was landing at will. But honestly, Jan's left and right hand were just landing at will in this fight. The straight left was just landing over and over and over again. I talked about it in my pre-fight. Jan loves to clinch up, not for the takedown. He loves to land some, dirty boxing, and then he always throws power shots on the break. He did it against Uriah Faber, knocked him out with a head kick upon the clinch break. In that second round, he threw a heavy elbow in the clinch break, landed it very well. He was chopping Cory Sandhagen legs again. He was ripping to the body. Cory Sandhagen was starting to show the damage. This round was very competitive as well, but I gave it to Petr Yan. Some people disagree with me on the live stream, but I thought it was clearly Yan. I'm going to rewatch it, but I just really believe that Yan won this round. I don't believe in those stats. I know somebody said, "Oh, well, look at the striking stats." I mean, how accurate are those? And it was relatively close. I just thought Yan landed the better strikes. I thought he looked good. He defended the takedowns. I think Cory shot it. I don't think Yan. Maybe Yan shot in on one takedown in this fight, but Sandhagen shot in on a couple, and I don't think he got any. The third round was probably the best round in the fight. Yan was just landing constantly, and he was switching stances. He was ripping kicks to the body. This was when there was a scramble in the ground. I think he dropped Sanhagen with a spinning back fist. Yeah, this was the round he dropped Sanhagen with the spinning back fist. Hurt him badly. Went in for the kill. Sanhagen was looking for leg locks, and Yan was defending and looking for submissions of his own. It was a crazy scramble. They both got back to their feet, and then more of a striking clinic. And what a high-level fight. And throughout the fight, there was one thing that I just kept seeing over and over again. It was Cory Sandhagen using his footwork and combinations, but Petr Yan's striking defense is just so crisp and so tight. His hands are just glued to his chin. He's rolling with every shot. And the majority of Cory Sandhagen's strikes were just hitting the forearms of Yan. So even though it looked like he was having a heavy output, there wasn't much landing. Now, he snuck in a couple body kicks as well, and he had a couple hard leg kicks, but Yan was doing a good job of checking them. And the third round was clearly Yan, and he almost finished him after that spinning back fist. It was so heavy, so unexpected, landed right on Sandhagen's jaw. The fourth round, more of the same, really. It was just Yan starting to pick up the pressure. He was starting to pressure Sanhagen more, land more strikes, just pumping that straight left over and over again, switching stances, throwing check right hooks. It was just a great performance. And I think there was multiple times that Sanhagen got hurt in this fight. I think it was twice. The spinning back fist was the most notable. I think he got hurt in the fourth round as well. He shot in on a takedown. There was one body kick throughout this fight that landed so hard. I don't know how Sanhagen didn't throw up. And I think it hurt him. But Sanhagen is just so durable and tough, and which is, I don't want to make the same comparison, but Sanhagen was almost like Vettori. Costa landed so many hard shots, but Sanhagen was just eating them and not reacting. They were beating up his body. You could see the redness on his body, and I said it on my live stream. His body started to look like Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. That's how bad his body was getting beat up. Fifth round, more of the same. Great fight. This round was a little less output from both guys. I had it for Yan again. He outstruck him, just landing the straight left, pumping the jab, leg kicks, body kicks. Yan just using an assortment of attacks. Not much output by either guy. Sanhagen was looking worse for the wear. He was kind of just circling around the cage here. And, he didn't have much output here, At the end of the fifth round, this was absolutely incredible. Yan knows he won probably the last three rounds. And in my opinion, he did, and I thought it was pretty clear. He's still going for the finish. He's just ripping combinations at Sanhagen. Big punches, landing on the nose, landing on the forehead, just snapping Sanhagen's head back, kicking the legs with full power body kicks throughout the fight. And in the fifth round, more of the same, pressing forward, throwing combinations, looking for a finish. The output in the beginning of the fifth round was a little bit, left a lot to be desired for both guys. But how can you even hate on them for that? The entire fight was just incredible. Crazy output from both guys. In that fifth round, in the last 10 seconds, Yan throws a spinning heel kick, lands right on Cory Sandhagen's jaw. And I thought for sure this had to rock Sanhagen. Nope. He sprints forward, throws his hands up in the air, and throws a flying knee on Yan. Incredible exchange for the last 5 seconds of the fight. And one of my favorite fights, if not my favorite fight of the entire year. It's recency bias, so it's really hard to say. But this was one of the best fights I've ever seen. And Sanhagen's grappling looked very, very good in this fight. I thought that Yan would have a significant advantage there. It was not to be. It was 50-50. You could even say that Sanhagen was in the better grappling positions most of the time. He even got that back clinch that I thought Jan was going to use against Sanhagen in a couple times throughout this fight. Jan, being the elite level grappler he is, he just broke the hands, turned into Sanhagen multiple times. It was just an amazing fight. And I think both these guys are the future of the bantamweight division. They're both still very young. And maybe we'll see this fight again, and I would love to see Sanhagen get a full camp. But it was just an incredible fight. Love that fight. So let's quickly go through more of the card. I don't want to make this a 2-hour show, so let's move on to the next fight, which I'm not going to talk about too much. Or actually, the next fight, never mind. I'm going down the card. I thought I was going up. The next fight was Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker coming in on short notice. Could he land that step-in knee? Is Islam Makhachev trying to close the distance? The odds were insane. Dan Hooker throws a leg kick. Islam Makhachev catches it, takes him down, immediately starts looking for the Kimura. Just dominates Dan Hooker on the ground, snatches up the Kimura, puts his leg over Dan Hooker's head, and just wrenches that Kimura. Stops him in the first round via submission Kimura. Great performance by Islam Makhachev. What more can you say about that? I mean, the fight lasted all of like a minute, I think. And Islam Makhachev, for all the talk, and I've said it myself, of him not being tested yet. He hasn't fought the elite of the elite yet. Dan Hooker is a nice step up in competition compared to Thiago Moises. And I know Dan Hooker came in on a month's notice, coming off a win over Nasrat Haqparast, which, he didn't look the greatest in. He didn't have an ideal camp. But to go out there and dominate Dan Hooker the way that Islam Makhachev did. I mean, I was already on the train, but I still had reservations. I am fully on the train now. Utter domination to a guy like Dan Hooker. I mean, Dan Hooker, for his losses, has never been dominated like that for as long as I can remember, especially the level of grappling. And Islam Makhachev, just shows, time and time again, his grappling is amazing. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Maybe one more fight, then a title shot. I don't know. I would love to see him against Charles Oliveira right now. I would love to see it. That's a great, phenomenal matchup. Charles Oliveira's jiu-jitsu, Islam Makhachev's takedowns and submissions as well. Both guys, slowly progressing with their striking. Charles Oliveira's striking has looked super technical as of late. Islam Makhachev went out there and destroyed Dan Hooker and made it look easy. I did not see Dan Hooker tap. They never showed the verbal tap. I assumed from the camera angle, the referee was looking right at Dan Hooker's face that he verbally tapped. But the UFC never showed us any confirmation of that. When Dan Hooker got up, he kind of threw his hands up. But his arm would have his shoulder would have got ripped off if it wasn't for the referee. So I'm not really going to complain about that too much. There's actually a fight I want to talk about later tonight. Let me pull up something real quick, guys. And guys, just remember, put your questions and comments in the chat. I will get to them after I'm done going over the card. So let's move on to the next fight. This is the fight I'm not going to spend too much time on, because this fight wasn't the greatest. It was my least favorite fight on the card, but it was underwhelming. And it was Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. Volkov wins 29-28. First round, Volkov wins. Combination, second round, Tybura wins. Was just moving forward, throwing big shots, pressured Volkov. Both guys looked gassed in the second round, middle of the second round. And there wasn't any heavy output, so I don't know why their gas tanks were so bad. Volkov has gone 5 rounds before and not looked that bad. I thought at one point Tybura may land a KO shot on him just because he looked so slow, leaving his chin exposed. Third round, Volkov wins, lands combinations, just outstrikes Tybura. And just, it is what it is. Not much to say about that heavyweight fight. Could have left a lot to be desired, but Alexander Volkov gets the decision win. Now, this next fight, I've been so excited to talk about. Khamzat Chimaev, the return of Khamzat Boris Chimaev, and what a dominant win. He comes out in the first exchange and takes JingLiang down. And again, I didn't say it. Khamzat Chimaev wins via rear naked choke submission, but Lee did not tap. He went to sleep. First exchange, Khamzat just ducks under the punches, takes him down, did not absorb a single strike in this fight. A little bit of ground and pound against the cage. He grabbed him, so the way the takedown happened, he clinched up with him, got the body lock, carried him over towards Dana White, was shouting at Dana White while he's carrying Lee around the octagon. Apparently, Dana was on his phone, he said in the post-fight interview. Takes Lee down, beats him up with a little bit of ground and pound, eventually gets the rear naked choke. Lee fought with everything he had. He did not want to get submitted there. Eventually, Chimaev keeps switching the angles, keeps switching the grips. He had the L grip, and then he had palm to palm for a while. Eventually, just chokes Lee out cold. Referee touches his arm, no response, and just puts him to sleep. And it was an incredible performance by Khamzat Chimaev. And again, common theme here. We were getting guys with their first test. They looked really good, but it was finally a good test for them. And in that fight, JingLiang Khamzat Chimaev passed the JingLiang test. He went out there and dominated him. I can't wait to see where Khamzat Chimaev goes from here. I was already on the hype train. But again, I'm one of these people who, have reservations when we haven't seen him against the elite of the elite in the division. And for Khamzat Chimaev to go out there against a number 11 ranked Lee and to dominate him the way he did. It sounds like I'm giving the same analysis of the Islam Makhachev fight. To dominate him the way he did, absorb 0 strikes, be on a 4-fight winning streak, coming back after a year off with the illness and everything, having the question marks, look to be in great shape, great takedowns, strong as ever, the way he carried Lee around and just dropped him. The urgency, the killer instinct. And, what I love about Khamzat Chimaev and what makes Khamzat Chimaev so incredible is not only does he talk, because he talks, he's very confident in himself, but if you offered him Kamaru Usman next week at UFC 268, you better believe Khamzat Chimaev is taking that fight. So the confidence is unreal. The performance tonight against JingLiang was unreal. To go out there and do what he did after a year layoff, I could not be higher on Khamzat Chimaev. And by the way, guys, for the members of the channel, in the next month or so, I'm getting a Khamzat Chimaev custom emojis. So if you guys want to sign up to be a member, the link is in the description. I'm going to get that emoji soon. We already have a bunch. If you're a member and you're in the live stream, you can put it in the chat. I'm going to get to all the questions here in a minute. But Khamzat Chimaev, the sky's the limit for him. I said this on the live stream. If you can have elite level grappling within the welterweight division, it will take you very far. Because if you have elite level grappling, that means you can compete with Gilbert Burns, you can compete with Kamaru Usman, and you can compete with Colby Covington. And if you have elite level grappling, you can probably beat Jorge Masvidal, you can probably beat Vicente Luque, you can probably beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I love Khamzat Chimaev's prospect in the welterweight division just as far as skill set goes. Because all those guys at the top are heavy grapplers. And let's say Khamzat Chimaev, who knows, he may have the better striking. He might be able to stuff the takedowns, and he may have the better striking of the guys. Imagine he goes out there and just outstrikes Kamaru Usman. That would be incredible. And if Khamzat Chimaev wins one more fight, I think he should get a title shot, honestly. He should get another test. Wins that fight dominantly, he can get a title shot. I'm going to make a dedicated video on what's next for Khamzat Chimaev. And here's a little teaser for that video. Khamzat Chimaev may very well skip the line and get the next title shot if Kamaru Usman wins next week. And I'm going to make a video about that. It'll probably be out tomorrow or Monday. But just keep that in mind. That may happen. He could be one of the UFC's biggest stars ever. Great performance tonight. Let's talk about the first fight on the main card. And then we will get to all your questions and comments in the chat. By the way, guys, if you haven't liked the stream already, do me a favor and like the stream. Also, if you're watching this stream right now and you're not subscribed, go subscribe and turn on notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. For these big cards, I'm going to do live post fights. If that's what you guys want, I will do live post fights for the bigger cards rather than just a video, just so we can interact about the fights. So Volkan Oezdemir versus Magomed Ankalaev. Great performance against Ankalaev. Volkan had some moments early in the first round, but after that, he landed a few punches. I thought he might have hurt Ankalaev. After that, it was nothing. It was a complete shutout from Ankalaev. Volkan had landed some good low kicks in the second and third round, but he got dominated all 3 rounds. Ankalaev was just too fast. Every time Volkan tried to engage, he was just shut down, countered, and he just started to get tentative because every time he would try to engage, he would just get beat up. The straight left of Ankalaev was incredible, and Ankalaev, Yuri Prohaska, and Alexander Rakic are definitely the future of this division. When you have Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira, the older guys at the top right now, these guys are the future of the division. He looked great tonight, and this was his first big test. Volkan Oezdemir is an elite level fighter. I know he has his losses. I picked Volkan Oezdemir in this fight, and I was dead wrong. Was dead wrong on this prediction. He was not the better striker. He was too slow. Footwork was not that great. Too tentative. And Ankalaev was just overall the better fighter. Better in the clinch. Better on the feet. He cut Volkan Oezdemir badly in the second round. Oezdemir had some good low kicks, and that was pretty much all I could say. Every time Volkan tried to engage, he was countered. And eventually he stopped trying to engage. The third round was awful for Volkan. I would like to see Ankalaev with a little bit more killer instinct, but it is what it is. That's just the fight game. You know, he was very good. He landed good power shots. He didn't get the finish. I felt like he could have got the finish at some points, but we'll see him in his next fight, and his next fight is going to be a big fight now. You know, he's getting towards the top 5 of the division. He may very well be in the top 5 next time the rankings come out. Great performance, beats up a veteran guy in Volkan Oezdemir, and I can't say enough good things about Ankalaev. Okay, now that we've gone over the entire main card, I wanted to get to one more thing before I go to the questions, because I might make a dedicated video on this, but I just have to address it in this post-fight as well, just so, you know, maybe you guys don't see that video. Maybe I end up not making the video. The welterweight fight between, I'm just going to say their last names, Dos Santos and St. Denis, was absolutely disgusting. The referee was pulled from the rest of his assignments on the fight card because the reffing job in this fight was egregious. There was multiple times it should have been stopped. Benoit St. Denis was out on his feet, getting lit up and brutalized, and the referee did not step in and save him. And there's more to say about the corner. I'm going to make a dedicated video about it. We'll talk about it then. But then on top of that, Benoit St. Denis gets eye poked and says, I can't see. And I think there's a chance he just wanted out of there. He was bludgeoned so badly. He was hoping for a no contest. The referee didn't even call in a doctor. He just told him, shut up and fight, and just clapped his hands, told him to fight. Stopped it for a few seconds. What is this referee doing? Then the cherry on the top. Dos Santos knees St. Denis in the groin. Grazing shot. Completely incidental. First time of the fight. The referee takes a point. What the hell are you doing? Thank God they removed him from the rest of his assignments. What a terrible referee. These refs are just getting worse and worse. I don't know what's going on here. We need some referee accountability. We need the commissions to do something. The UFC was self-governed in Abu Dhabi here. But what a terrible, terrible reffing performance. I'm going to get the name of that ref. I'm going to do a dedicated video if I have time. But I just wanted to mention it on this post-fight because it was absolutely disgusting. One more quick note while I'm looking here. Makwan Amirkhani, Laron Murphy. Whew. I missed partial of the first round, but Amirkhani dominated him on the ground pretty much, held him down for the majority of the first round. Murphy lands a perfectly placed knee as Amirkhani shoots on a takedown and just absolutely sleeps him. So Laron Murphy, great prospect to look out for. He's undefeated right now. I think Amirkhani gets a little bit too much hype, but either way, great adjustments in between rounds to throw them. You know, he threw some, I don't want to say feints, but he kind of threw, a couple punches, hoping that Amirkhani would duck under, look for a takedown. And he did, and he just threw a perfectly placed knee and put him to sleep. So great performance. Now I'm going to get to the questions and comments in the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed that post-fight breakdown. Let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. If you guys have a question or comment, put it in the chat. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning and try to read everything that we have here. Guys, do not forget to like the stream. It really helps the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you like the stream. And also, if you're not subscribed, do me a favor and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy these live post fights immediately following the events, let me know, and I will do them more in the future. If you're watching the replay of this, let me know in a comment below if you enjoyed these live streams regardless. So let's get some of your questions because I've already gone too long on a post-fight. 36 minutes already, it looks like. Can't believe he won. 42-year-old champion. Let's get right to Jan Sanhagen because that was crazy. Incredible fight, my friend. Uh, Khamzat and Islam are real problems for sure. He gave it his all and won at 42. Agreed. Jan went for Kimura, but I don't know why. Yeah, I thought he was doing something, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. A terrible decision. Terrible decision. What's up, Tiramisu? He made mistakes as Izzy going to the ground. I don't know what you mean. Izzy went for the guillotine. Okay. What's up, Kevin Weeks? Don't ever go to the ground with Glover. Agree. It's insane how Yan keeps the same pressure all fight. Cory didn't gas out, but you can notice he was a bit tired. Got desperate for takedowns in the fourth. Agreed. And Petr Yan, I mean, the stamina that this guy has, someone needs to check that blood because the stamina that Yan has is just incredible. Incredible. He just pushes the pace. As the rounds go on, he just looks better and better and better. That card was amazing. I agree. Not just, we're going to go through these quickly because I don't want to run this too long. But just keep, any questions or comments, put them in the chat right now and I'll get to them. That card was amazing. Not just Glover, Yan too. Both careers are the same. Put Glover in the Hall of Fame. Agreed. Put Yan in there too. Two old champs got it together later on. Yan should be ashamed. Shouldn't be ashamed. I don't know if someone did say that or if I said that. I don't know. Props to Glover and Yan. I need to go back and watch some of the earlier fights. I talked about some of them here. Bro, the way Yan just lost, as in Jan Blachowicz, he was absolutely dominated. Agreed. 100% agreed. I'm going to rewatch the fights when I can. This fight was so good. That was a great fight. I'm counting Glover out. Yuri is going to wreck him. Glover's too slow. We'll see. They said they want to do that fight in May. Glover and Yan both looked really slow. I didn't think Glover looked particularly slow. I will watch all the fights. Maybe I will see Hasbulla. He was adorable in there. He was adorable in there. When I seen Islam Makhachev throwing Hasbulla up in the air and catching him, I can't wait to see that picture. I cannot wait to see that picture. Yan looked off. I don't know if he was injured or what, or maybe it just wasn't his night. Glover Teixeira is a beast. What's up? What an event. The outcome doesn't happen 9 times out of 10. Which fight are you talking about? Yan, I guess. Yan versus Glover. I think it does. I would pick Glover in every fight against Jan Blachowicz in the future, unless it comes out he had a major injury and he fought anyway. The main event had a lot of dominant performances. The main card, I think you meant. But yes, I agree. Both of them look really slow, and Yuri's going to beat them down. Yan versus Rakic. Fight night main event. Rampage versus Blachowicz. Who wins? Blachowicz wins. Rampage is like 600 pounds at this point. He has no shot. Come on, bro. Yuri is way too mobile for Glover. But he leaves his hands down, and he is susceptible to getting clipped up. Whoever has the better grappling always wins. Yan outgrappled Izzy. Glover wrestled Yan. Agreed. Glover would kill Izzy. Oh, yeah. I said that in the live stream. I don't know if you were there for that. Glover would dominate Izzy. I don't know if I said that in here, too. I can't remember all I said. It went for 35 minutes. Cory beat TJ. Agreed. Cory number 4 in the division. Yan, TJ, Aljo, better than Cory? No, I think Cory's better than TJ. I think he beat TJ. Why does Strickland say he wants to kill someone when he's in the octagon? But Khamzat said he wants to kill everyone and no fighters have nothing to say. Are they too scared or what? I don't know, man. I think Khamzat is like kind of like a language barrier. Like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to beat him up. Sean Strickland is talking about like homicide, which is very strange. Yan has way more power than how he won the fight. Yan has way more power. That's how he won the fight. I don't know what we're talking about there. That was the easiest fight of Glover's career. Maybe. Yan looked off. Agreed. Yan's tap was a bit weird. Very strange. Very strange. Paulo Costa would be an idiot to go back to middleweight. Very true. I think he has... I don't know, man. He's got very short arms. I really hope Yuri doesn't brutally KO Glover. He should retire on top. Who knows? Glover may go out there and take Yuri Prochazka down. Quick preview. He may take him down. And Yuri has problems when he is on his back a little bit. But he hasn't been there very much. Down as easy as Yan did. One of the best UFC cards all year. I love this fight card. I wouldn't be surprised to see Izzy or Luke Rockhold try to take the belt from Glover. I think Izzy's making a mistake if he tries to fight Glover next. Do you see anyone beating Petr at the moment? Absolutely not. I don't see anyone even being close to beating Yan. The Khamzat fight was so impressive. 100% on the train now. He destroys Usman. I'm not sure about that last part, but I'm on the train. I was already halfway on the train before. The Islam fight was kind of lame. Basically, the Khamzat fight, but not exciting. Yeah, it was very short. It looked like Dan didn't belong in there. I thought Dan would be better. He just accepted it. Not on the island train yet, but he did look Islam's train yet, but he did look very good. I'm on that train with you, brother. Now, Islam losers of Chandler Gaethje. That would be a nice fight. Islam Makhachev versus the loser of Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje at UFC 268 next week. I'll be having predictions come out very, very soon. Do you think Leon will ever get a title shot now after we all saw Khamzat eat the leech? Probably not, honestly. The leech is no joke either. Did you hear what Chimaev said? He couldn't get the takedown earlier, but he wanted Dana's attention. Oh, for sure. Once he had that body lock and he had him up in the air, he could have put him down at any point. He was screaming over at Dana. Chimaev beats Usman in 3 years. He beats Usman. I'm not sure about that yet. Great. Now I just skipped all the way to the bottom. Khamzat is actually the next Khabib, not Islam. Chimaev is wrestling way better than Usman. Islam is his own person. I don't think he's next Khabib in terms of skill set. Khamzat looks like he has great striking. We haven't seen enough of it yet to say. Giving me counter vibes. Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev. Prediction, please. Khamzat Chimaev would wreck him. I have no desire to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. No, 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 no. Wouldn't be competitive. Agree, Hank. I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. I think there's much worse beating. Max Cater, Max Ortega, Volkov versus Ortega, etc. I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. Which fight are we talking about? Which beating are we talking about? That ref. Oh, the ref. Okay. I see what you're saying. But yeah, it was unanswered strikes, though. He wasn't doing anything. It should have been stopped. That ref was Keith Peterson's best friend. What the heck? That was a joke. What a great night of fights. Just got done watching with my fan. Incredible nights. I think this was free and not a pay-per-view because the UFC knew what was going to happen. What do you think? I don't know. I think Abu Dhabi paid them to put it in prime time in Abu Dhabi. Even so, the point deduction as well and not bringing in the doctor. Very strange. They raised Hezbollah like he was Simba. Agreed. What's up, Ginge? What's going on? I was saying that Jan's power allowed him to beat Sanhagen. Yeah, I mean, Sanhagen wore the damage significantly more than anything that Sanhagen landed on Jan. It was incredible, Petr Yan. It was an incredible performance all the way around. I mean, I loved it. I loved it. It was a great performance. I can't wait to see what Jan can do in the future. I would love to look forward to a TJ Dillashaw fight next, but we know the unfinished business with Aljamain Sterling. Guys, what an incredible day of fights. It's now 6 p.m. where I'm at. I'm very sad. It's going to feel weird the rest of the night. There's no fights to watch. But everyone who joined me for the live stream of the event, I greatly appreciate you. The people who donated in the super chat on the live event, I appreciate you. I mean, today was just so much fun for real MMA fans, and I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed doing this post fight. This post fight is almost 45 minutes already, but there was a lot to discuss. If you guys have any final questions, put it in the chat. But overall, couldn't be a greater night for MMA fans. It couldn't be a greater night for the UFC. I mean, all the people who they suspect will be future stars had dominant performances tonight. Khamzat Chimaev, dominant. Islam Makhachev, dominant. Petr Yan, dominant. I mean, he's not looking at the star, but he's looking to be one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. So Luque put Chimaev out after getting dominated in the first round. I doubt it. Luque lost to Wonder. Not happening on the feet after winning the first. If you guys have any final questions about UFC 267 you want my opinion on, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to get ready to end this. We've already gone very, very long, but there was so much to dissect here. And there'll be more videos coming out. I want to talk about Khamzat Chimaev more in depth and who he should fight next and potential title shots and the hype train. Same with Islam. Same with what's next for Glover. There's so many permutations that are coming off of this fight card of what can happen with some of these fighters. And we have a very exciting future of MMA to look forward to. UFC 268 is next week. Guys, it's a great time to be an MMA fan. There's never been a better time, that I can think of to be an MMA fan. I mean, to have UFC 268 coming next week, the following week, we have Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. 269 is stacked. Charles Oliveira, Poirier, Sean O'Malley's on the card. Amanda Nunes is on the card. We have just so many great fights coming up. My head is literally going to explode. It is going to be an amazing last 2 months of the year, guys. It's going to be incredible. The channel's been around for, I think it's going on 7 months now. And I can't be more happy about the levels of this channel has reached so far. Currently, this channel is at 1,468 subscribers, which to me is just absolutely mind-blowing. I've enjoyed all the live streams that we've done, the weekly live chats on Wednesday, the fight live streams, because there's some things I don't think to talk about, and you guys are always asking me in the chat. Let me know. There's going to be nothing but upgrades from here. I'm hoping to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think that's very, very possible. We will see. A lot of UFC 268 content coming out this week. I'm hoping to hit 1,500 by the end of this week. We will see. But I mean, overall, guys, before I leave, what fight are you guys most looking forward to in the next month or two? I'm talking announced fight. What fight are you most looking forward to? Because for me, I think it's got to be, next week, Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington 2, I love. But I love that Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler fight. I love it. I love it. I love it. Then you also have, which I forgot to mention for UFC 269, you have Jorge Masvidal versus Leon Edwards. I mean, we've been wanting that fight for so long, and it's finally going to happen after years and years and years of waiting for it. It's finally going to happen. We get to see them settle it. French Fry says, what's next for Hooker? That is a very good question. That is a very good question because I don't know. There's not a lot of great matchups right now for him coming off a loss. Dan Hooker should go fight Tony Ferguson. If he can get that fight, I think he should go fight Tony Ferguson. And I think that's probably what's best for him. But I don't know if Tony Ferguson's going to take that fight. Apparently he wants to sit out a little while. I think Tony Ferguson should try to get that Nate Diaz fight, try to get that Conor McGregor fight. But we'll see. We'll see. Dan Hooker, he can fight people a little bit further down the rankings. Maybe he fights at Dos Anjos, but I don't like that matchup for him either. Dan Hooker is the worst, best lightweight, in my opinion. I don't favor Dan Hooker to beat anyone in the top 10 right now. I don't favor him to beat. He would lose to Gregor Gillespie. He would lose to Conor. His best chance to win is Tony Ferguson. I don't think he beats Tony Ferguson. I truly believe that Dan Hooker is a little bit overrated. A little bit, just a little bit. Because he doesn't have any huge quality wins at all. He just doesn't. So, I don't, it's just, in the lightweight is so nasty. I don't favor him. The only people I would pick Dan Hooker to beat in the top 15 is Diego Ferreira and Thiago Moises. And I'm not even confident that he would beat Thiago Moises. And I'm not trying to shit on Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker's a great fighter. A very good fighter. But I just don't know who he beats. The division is so deep. Guys, do me a favor. If this is your first time watching my channel, go subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And also do me a favor and like the stream. It helps push it out to more people. I'll be doing a live post-fight reaction for UFC 268 next week as well. And we do these live streams all the time. Chandler versus Gaethje is going to be so good. I cannot wait for Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. I could not be more excited for that fight. Glover by sub was plus 750 right before the fight. Saved my bets, lost my parlay, but the hedge on Glover sub gave me profit. That's awesome, man. I'm happy you won. That would have been that would have been nice to bet a couple hundred on Glover by sub and win, breaking some big dollars. Poirier versus Oliveira. I love that fight. You misspelled Oliveira, but I absolutely love Poirier versus Oliveira as well. Is Masvidal statue toy. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about back here? I have a Masvidal bobblehead, autographed bobblehead. Hooker versus Ferguson would be really good. Yes. Felder win, age is bad. Yes. Dan is very exciting, but tends to lose big fights. Yeah. Dan Hooker has lost big fights time and time again. Big fight against Michael Chandler, gets brutally KO'd. And, it sucks because what's Dan Hooker's best win? I said it in my pre-fight. What is Dan Hooker's best win? His best performance, I know what his best performance is. His best performance is a loss to Dustin Poirier. And I hate to say that, but that is Dan Hooker's best performance. He doesn't have a lot of quality wins. He hasn't, every time it seems like he's fighting, he gets a big fight, he loses. He lost to Edson Barboza, domination. Lost to Poirier, obviously it was super competitive. Was a great fight. Lost to Islam now, but again, short notice. And Islam is just a beast. I mean, his grappling, his top game, his jiu-jitsu is incredible. But it sucks to say that I only favor Dan Hooker beating 2 guys in the entire top lightweight division. That's just insane to me. Hooker took his money grab now. What do you think? Maybe. I think he came there to fight, man. He wasn't expecting to get dominated like that. He came in the fight for sure. But it just ended up not, working out for him. Tony Ferguson versus Islam Makhachev. If the UFC makes Tony Ferguson versus Islam Makhachev, I am going to be absolutely pissed. I do not want to see that fight at all. Tony Ferguson will get wrecked by Islam Makhachev. There's no questions about that. It's not a fight that I want to see. It doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of the division. Islam Makhachev would dominate Tony Ferguson. It hurts me to say that. I love Tony Ferguson. I absolutely love Tony Ferguson. But Islam Makhachev would get dominated in that fight. Not Islam Makhachev. Tony Ferguson would get dominated by Islam Makhachev. I lost my train of thought for a second. And it would not be pretty. Because Tony Ferguson ain't verbally tapping and he's not tapping at all. Islam Makhachev would rip Tony Ferguson's limb off. And Tony would try to pick it up and swing it at Islam Makhachev. It's just incredible, incredible. Dan should retire and be a coach, maybe. We got 44, but they have to wait 5 minutes. Yeah, guys, if you want to be able to participate in the chat, I'll change it to 1 minute. See if you guys have any comments. No, it's 1 minute on here. It's 1 minute on here. I didn't change it on here. If you guys want to participate in the chat, you have to subscribe to the channel. I do it so trolls can't just come in here. They have to subscribe for a little bit, and then they have to try to troll. So if you want to participate in the chat, you have to subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing another one of these live streams for UFC 268 next week. It's going to be a fun fight card. And I can't wait for UFC 268 as well as UFC 268 predictions coming up. But the card was really great. Agree, Kevin Weeks. And if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. And if you just found the channel and you're going to subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you very much. The channel is only 7 months old, but we're slowly growing. I do these live streams all the time, weekly as much as I can. I post a bunch of videos, predictions, all that stuff. I also, if you guys want to become a member and support the channel, the link is in the description. I got a bunch of custom emojis. Sleepy Conor McGregor, and I'm adding a Khamzat Chimaev emoji. So sign up to become a member. And the link is in the description. It's only a couple bucks, and it supports the channel. And you get a loyalty badge next to your name, as well as, the custom emojis. French fries, if you can throw the custom emojis in the chat. And also, I post behind-the-scenes stuff. And as I grow the channel, I'm going to add more stuff to it. So you can look out for that as well. Thank you for people who have already signed up, by the way. Can't believe we have UFC 268 next week. UFC 268 next week is going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible. So many great fights. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for UFC 268. How can you not be excited? Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington 2. Weili Zhang, Rose Namajunas 2. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, Marlon Vera, Frankie Edgar. I'm sad we're not getting Sean Strickland, Luke Rockhold, because that really rounded out the card. But it's going to be another great night of fights. And I'll be doing another live stream post-fight. If that's what you guys want, I will put a poll out on the channel. For the big events, it seems like that's what you guys like. So we'll see. Okay, and keep the questions coming, guys. I will go as long as we have questions about different topics. You know, there's so much to talk about coming off of this fight card, and I'm still hyped up. What's next for Yan? Are you talking about Petr Yan? It's going to be Aljamain Sterling. But if Aljamain Sterling can't defend by March, I think he gets stripped and they make Petr Yan versus TJ Dillashaw. So we'll see. Sorry, I'm falling behind on the chat real quick. Respect for Glover from Poland. You got to respect Glover. How can you not respect Glover Teixeira? Seriously. What a great fighter. And to do that at 42, I almost said 52, was incredible. Let's see. Sadly, I just feel like Tony is just done at this point. I just don't see it out of him anymore. Also, he's fighting top-tier competition. I want to see him take a step back. I want to see Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. I want to see Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. That's the fight to make. It would be an incredible fight. Dan would beat up Tony. Tony just backs up against the cage like Tyron Woodley. I would favor Tony Ferguson in that fight. I can't wait for UFC 260. I think Tony Ferguson absolutely batters Dan Hooker. And I'm confident in that. Do you think Dana will pick Nate's next and last fight? I think nobody tells Nate Diaz what to do. I think he figures it out. They'll come to some type of an agreement. Imagine he tries to feed him Khamzat Chimaev. That'd be hilarious. Guys, how do we have 60 people in here, but we only have 20 likes? Guys, run up the likes, please. Run up the likes on the live stream. I greatly appreciate you guys all joining me. But if you could run up the likes, it really helps support the channel, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Usman versus Colby Covington 2 is about to be fire. I agree. I can't wait for Usman versus Colby Covington 2. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight. I hope, knock on wood, there's no, injury or anything like that, and we make it to next week. I told you before, brother, Petr Yan is pound for pound number one. Khamzat is just a missile right now, but I worry about a fight with him and Luque. I think he beats Luque, honestly. Nate Diaz emoji in the chat. Good times to be a fan. Do you think my boy Chandler will KO Justin? Absolutely not. I think Justin Gaethje beats up the legs and probably puts Michael Chandler to sleep. Maybe they do Yan versus Rakic since Glover's going to fight Yuri. Maybe. Or maybe they do that Anthony Smith-Alexander Rakic rematch. There's a chance that happens as well. Diaz tunes him up. Diaz tunes who up? If you're talking about Diaz tuning up Khamzat Chimaev, you got another thing coming. Nate Diaz would get absolutely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked by Khamzat Chimaev. And I love Nate Diaz. I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan. But they ain't got good defensive wrestling. Not at all, guys. Not at all. Nick Diaz would get wrecked by Khamzat Chimaev. That was one of the first videos on the channel. People were talking about Nick Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev. I made a video on it. And I said that Khamzat Chimaev would wreck Nick Diaz even before I saw this. Sanhagen is a bad spot with losses to everyone at the top. It sucks, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in rematches of all of those. All great performances. Rewatch your reactions. They were great. I watched you and you did not see fights on TV. Was working driving. Oh, I see. So you watched me. I see. That's awesome, man. I hope I gave good reactions. I never go back and rewatch the stream. If you guys want to see my live reactions to UFC 267, there's a stream on the channel. You guys can go check that out as well. And I'm hoping I gave pretty good reactions in that stream. Apparently, to keep out, I do. So we'll see. Guys, if you have any last minute questions, put them in the chat and we'll answer them. But it looks like we're starting to wind down here. We're at an hour post fight. I think he meant Tony and Diaz. Oh, so Nate beats up Tony. I see. I would probably favor Tony in that fight. Too much scar tissue for Nate Diaz, and I think Tony would just probably batter him. Khamzat is going to be a big problem for everyone. What do you think? I agree. Khamzat Chimaev is going to be a huge problem for everyone in the division. I had one foot on the hype train before. I am all aboard the hype train now. I would favor him to beat everyone except Burns, Colby, and Usman right now. I don't think I'd pick Khamzat in any of those fights. But I'm not saying he wouldn't win. There's a chance he would win. I'm just saying I'd be confident in those other. I think he beat Masvidal. I think he beats Wonderboy with ease. They may even make that Khamzat Chimaev Wonderboy fight next. Khamzat resist it, maybe. I don't know. It's just Khamzat Chimaev is absolutely on fire right now. And I really believe if he can continue to win, this is going to be crazy. You guys are going to think I'm insane for saying this. You guys, I know in the chat you're going to be like, what are you talking about? You're insane, dude. If Khamzat Chimaev can continue to win, let's say he wins one more fight, then he gets a title shot and he wins again. If Khamzat Chimaev can continue to win, he will be a bigger star than Conor McGregor. I truly believe that. He will sell massive pay-per-views. The fact that he's undefeated, the fact that he's smashing dudes and dudes aren't even landing a single strike on him, incredible. It's been fun. Thank you. Great job, brother. I would pick Khamzat versus Colby, but I feel you about Burns and Kamaru. Yeah, I think all those are tough matchups for everybody. I don't think Khamzat's an easy matchup for really anyone within the division, especially in the top of the division. Apparently, Khamzat called out Nate Diaz in the post-fight press conference. Please, no. The UFC better not make that fight. They may if Nate doesn't sign a new contract, because what happens is when they get down to one fight on the contract, the UFC tries to re-up them. And if they don't re-sign, the UFC's kind of like pissed off and might give him like a shitty fight. They might give him Khamzat Chimaev and let Khamzat wreck him and then say, okay, go find another job, which Nate Diaz will do regardless. Nate Diaz can lose 50 times and people will still be talking about him. No way. He needs better English, but yeah, his fights are insane. I love his confidence level. I mean, Khamzat's confidence level is unreal. And he's not just confident and then fighting bums and then, pretending he's the world champion when he's fighting nobody. He wants to fight the best. If you offered him to step in against Kamaru Usman next week at UFC 268, I have no doubt. Oh, God, I don't want to jinx the fight. If Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington pulls out of the fight next week, there is no doubt in my mind that Khamzat Chimaev, I'll volunteer. I will step in and I will fight Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington. There is no doubt in my mind. The guy just has, it's just a mentality that's on a different level. And I respect it. And it's enjoyable to watch. And it's almost charming in a way. And his striking, his fundamentals and his striking looks good. His power looks good. The KO against Gerald Meerschaert has aged very, very well. And I would love to see how he does against a Kamaru Usman or a Colby Covington. And, I'm going to come up with some matchups. I'm going to make a dedicated video. What's next for Khamzat Chimaev? And you guys can check that out when I put it out. I'll put it out either tonight or tomorrow. But the sky's the limit for this guy. If he can continue to win and win the way he is, he will be a superstar for the UFC. He will be selling out, arenas. He will be selling pay-per-views. People will be talking about it. The media already loves him. The media already loves the guy. And it's not that he's just winning. The level of dominance that he is displaying is phenomenal. I said the wrong word. I said phenomenon. That's hilarious. But it's phenomenal. The level of dominance that Khamzat Chimaev shows has been very, very incredible. And I don't know if he can do it against a Gilbert Burns. I don't know if he can do it against a Colby Covington or a Kamaru Usman. But damn if I wouldn't love to see him try. And that's what makes this sport just so incredible. And the fact that the UFC put on UFC 267 and UFC 268 back-to-back, guys, there's never been a better time to be a fan. I am so excited. I got a lot of work to do for prediction videos. The only channel that's putting out 4K UFC prediction videos, the only channel. If you guys know another one, let me know. But, whew, we talked about it already, but there's never been a better time to be a UFC fan. I can't wait. My favorite thing about these fights is afterwards looking to what's next. What's next for this guy? Looking to the future for Islam Makhachev is very fun. Looking to the future for Khamzat Chimaev is very fun. little bit lesser known, but looking to the future for Magomed Ankalaev is very, very fun. The future for Petr Yan, very, very fun. And the future for Glover Teixeira should be very fun as well. Yuri Prohaska waiting in the wings for Glover Teixeira. I mean, it would be amazing. Usman is tough. Comes out with KO. Usman maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Usman is tough and he can take a hit. I agree. A Khamzat 1 week turnaround for a title shot would be insane. Could you imagine if Colby pulled out, Khamzat steps in and starches Kamaru Usman? That would be the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And that would buy him so much hype and so much press. He would probably go into the Hall of Fame if he never fought again. The UFC would put him in the Hall of Fame. The country of Russia is backing their fighters now. He would be a huge star like Conor. Agreed. Look at the stardom of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Incredible. Good fight. Usman gets wobbled every fight. Khamzat keeps it on the feet and sleeps him in one. Whew, that's a bold prediction. Maybe so. That crisp right hand against Gerald Meerschaert, if he lands that on Usman, Burns hurt him badly. Who are you guys picking? Are you picking Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington next week? Let me know in the chat. Also, we got quite a few people in the chat today. I always love to ask this question. Put in the chat right now, where are you watching this stream from? Where are you from? You can be as specific or as non-specific as you want. I know some of you have already answered this question before, the people that are always in, the streams. But put in the chat, where are you watching this post-fight from? I'm always curious where the watchers are from. It's all over the world. It's all over the world, and I love that we can have educated and fun MMA discussion, and all of us are just from all over, all walks of life. So answer those two questions for me. Who are you picking next week in the main event, Colby or Kamaru, and where are you watching this live stream from? We got Montreal, Canada. Hold on. I got a 4K 65-inch TV for my birthday. Now I can watch your videos on it. Awesome, man. The 4K content is incredible. And happy birthday, whenever it was. Alabama. Usman has evolved. Colby has done nothing. Agreed. Canada. Already read that. I'd like Colby to win, but Usman probably will. I agree. Lagonis, NG. Texas. Kyiv. I don't know. I don't even know where that's at. My friend. It's just crazy. There's people from all different, countries, states, whatever, cities that watch this channel. And I know there's a lot of people who watch and just don't participate in the chat, which is fine. I appreciate you guys too. The person who's watching this live stream right now, but would never ever type a message in the chat. I was that person when I used to watch content. I didn't really type anything in the chat. I'm trying to get better about that. But I appreciate you too. I appreciate you very much. Should be a good fight for sure. Kamaru Usman all day, but hope it's as close as the first fight. I think Kamaru Usman is going to win dominantly, probably. I just think he's evolved more, and Colby hasn't been active, and that's a recipe for disaster for Colby Covington. Yep, very true. She doesn't actually watch the live streams usually. She watches the regular videos. She doesn't even know how to find the live stream, so... I'll pick Usman because I thought Colby actually didn't look good versus Woodley, but maybe I got to watch it again. Also, Woodley, that one hasn't aged very well at all. And it's not like Colby was super dominant either. He won, and he won decisively, and he finished him, technically. But it wasn't the greatest performance by any means. All right, guys, last chance. Any questions, UFC 267, 268, whatever MMA questions you want to ask. This has been the post-fight for UFC 267. If you have anything, put it in the chat now. I'm getting ready to end the stream, but do me a favor. Make sure to like the stream. Run up the likes. That way more people can find this video. I appreciate there's so many people. You guys have stuck with me throughout this post-fight stream. I'm going to be doing another one for UFC 268 next week. So make sure you join me live for the UFC 268 post-fight stream next week. Make sure you like this stream as well. I appreciate it. Does anyone know if Dan Hooker verbally tapped? I never seen confirmation anywhere, and he looked like he complained. When he came up. Your ideal outcomes for UFC 268. To be honest, I just want exciting fights. I want Usman to win, just because if Colby wins, then we're probably going to have to see a trilogy. I kind of want Weili to win just because I want to see a trilogy. I like Rose and I like Weili, but if Weili loses again, then where does she go from there? Uh, and then I probably want Justin Gaethje to win just because Michael Chandler just fought for the belt. So if Michael Chandler wins, it's probably not ideal, you know. Um, then maybe Frankie Edgar. I mean, I'm stretching it here because I like pretty much all the fighters, but I almost would love Frankie Edgar to win dominantly, so that way I can talk a little bit of shit about O'Malley. Vera got dominated by an aging Frankie Edgar, but Vera's best win is when he slept O'Malley. I think it'd be incredible. Also, one last note before I end the stream. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at MMA Joey C. Same thing for Instagram. It's down here in this little ticker. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's down there. I post stuff on there all the time. So if you guys want to, talk about MMA or whatever, follow me down there. You've been here since 1 p.m. Yeah, you've been here a while. I think I started at like a little bit like 1:45 actually. So you've been here since 1:45 probably. When's your next video? Is Contender Series over? There's one more week of Contender Series. I might put out a video later tonight, but I'll almost definitely put out a video tomorrow. I want to make videos on what's next for Khamzat, what's next for Islam. I think they'll all do very well. And I think people are asking those questions. I try to make videos to answer the questions that people want to know the answers to. And I've been pretty good at predicting future fights. I predicted Dan Hooker to step in and fight. I almost said Khamzat. I predicted Dan Hooker to step in and fight, Islam Makhachev for some reason. Oh, yeah, it is one for you. I forgot you're an hour ahead of me. So, it's one of those things where I got to see when I have time, but I hope to get out at least one video tonight. I got to get out of this chair, though, because I've been here since 2 p.m., so I've been sitting in this chair for 5 hours, guys. I did a live stream for the event. If anyone in here happens to go back and watch my reactions to UFC 268 or 267, do me a favor, comment timestamps. I will love you forever. That would be amazing. But it seems like people are really enjoying these live post fights. I only started doing them at UFC 266, but it seems like rather than wait for me to post a video, you guys rather me go live. We can discuss it live, get my live reactions immediately following the fights. And I enjoy the conversation at the end after I go over it. Go watch all the post-fight videos and tell us what you find out. Yeah, I will definitely be watching some of the post-fight content for UFC 267. I have no idea. There could be information online that I missed already just because Dana White said this, Khamzat Chimaev said that, Islam Makhachev said this, Dan Hooker said that, Jan Blachowicz said this. But overall, amazing day of fights. UFC 267 was stacked. It absolutely delivered. The best fight on the card was Petr Yan versus Cory Sandhagen. That was my favorite fight on the card. Best performance on the card. Whew. Good luck deciding that. Worst fight on the main card, at least. Volkov versus Tybura was not very impressive. I did not enjoy that fight. There's a lot of content to watch. There's a lot of post-fight interviews, scrums, this and that. And hopefully I get out a video for you guys tonight. I want to get a video out for you guys. And I think that pretty much wraps up this post-fight. Before I go, I'll play this for you guys one more time. Go subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If you're not subscribed already, go subscribe. Help me get to 1,500 subscribers. I am so close. So if you guys go subscribe for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I will rewatch your videos and timestamp. Thank you so much, Keep Out. Appreciate you 100%. You're the man. All right, guys. I think that wraps this post-fight up. This has been the post-fight for UFC 267. Thank every single one of you for joining me. I appreciate you guys. And I will talk to you in the next video. So enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you so much for watching this post-fight for UFC 267.